Audiobook Academy Biography presents Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner is Donald Trump's son-in-law, a real estate entrepreneur and former publisher. He was appointed as a senior advisor to President Trump in 2017. Charles Kushner's son, Jared Kushner, is a real estate developer. When his father was imprisoned in the wake of a financial and political scandal, Kushner took over the family business and ventured into publishing by purchasing the New York Observer. In 2009, he married Ivanka Trump, the daughter of Donald Trump, another real estate magnate. During Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and transition to the White House, Kushner was a close political advisor. In January 2017, he was named a senior advisor to the president. Early years. Kushner was born in Livingston, New Jersey, on January 10, 1981. Charles Kushner, a millionaire real estate developer and major financial backer of the Democratic Party and several nonprofits, has 4 children. Joshua Kushner, his younger brother, is a businessman and investor. The younger Kushner attended the Frisch School, a yeshiva secondary school in Paramus, New Jersey, before entering Harvard University and graduating in 2003. A writer later reported that Kushner, who had a mediocre high school academic record, was admitted to Harvard since his father donated an endowment to the university. The claim is and always has been false, according to a Kushner company's spokesperson. Arrest of the father. Charles pleaded guilty to charges such as tax evasion, witness tampering, and unlawful political campaign contributions in 2005. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison. The elder Kushner was charged by then U.S. Attorney and future New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, with whom Kushner later worked as part of Trump's presidential campaign advisory team. While his father was in prison, Jared took over his father's real estate firm and maintained a close contact with him. Kushner, when in his mid-20s, bought the New York Observer and became its publisher in 2006. The next year, he made headlines once more when he paid $1.8 billion for a Manhattan office skyscraper at 666 Fifth Avenue. In 2008, Kushner took over as CEO of Kushner Companies. Ivanka Trump. In October 2009, Kushner married Ivanka Trump, the daughter of Ivana and Donald Trump, in Bedminster, New Jersey, after courting for almost 2 years. Arabella, Joseph, and Theodore are the couple's 3 children. Ivanka turned to Orthodox Judaism, the same faith as Kushner. Donald Trump's advisor. Despite coming from a Democratic family, Kushner became a significant advisor to Trump during his 2016 campaign for the Republican presidential nomination. Kushner is said to have assisted Trump with many campaign operations, including merchandising, speechwriting, social media outreach, and the selection of Indiana Governor Mike Pence as Trump's vice presidential candidate. During the summer, Kushner became embroiled in a political maelstrom when Trump tweeted a meme, initially posted on an alt-right message board, depicting Hillary Clinton as incredibly corrupt, with a Star of David and money in the backdrop. The post's anti-Semitic connotations sparked a firestorm. Kushner defended Trump to the Observer, claiming that his father-in-law was not an anti-Semite and that the presidential candidate should not be held responsible for hate-filled, destructive messages from followers. Kushner became a key member of Trump's transition team after he won the presidential election on November 8, 2016. Despite speculation that Kushner would return to his personal business ventures after Trump's election, it was reported that he had sought legal advice about the possibility of joining Trump's administration, potentially exposing him to issues ranging from executive branch nepotism restrictions to financial conflicts of interest. According to Forbes, the Kushner family net worth was estimated to be $1.8 billion in 2016, with the majority of its assets being real estate property holdings. Trump's transition team said in January 2017 that Kushner would be named a senior advisor to the president. Russian investigation. Kushner met with Senate Intelligence Committee personnel on July 24, 2017 to discuss his interaction with Russians as part of an ongoing investigation into Russian election meddling in 2016. Kushner issued an 11-page statement before to the meeting, in which he denied collaboration with the Russian government. He also detailed 4 meetings he had with Russians during the presidential campaign and Trump's transition to the White House, including 2 encounters with the Russian ambassador, a meeting with a Russian banker, and a meeting set up by Donald Trump Jr. with a Russian lawyer who offered compromising information about Clinton. Kushner denied improper communication with foreign governments during these conversations, saying, "I did not collude with any foreign government, nor did I know of anyone else in the campaign who colluded." CNN reported in early November that Kushner had handed over information to special counsel Robert Mueller, who was conducting his own investigation into the Trump campaign's ties to Russian officials. Mueller's investigators were investigating into Kushner's role in the May 2017 firing of FBI Director James Comey, according to CNN sources. Kushner was soon back in the sights of the Senate Judiciary Committee, this time for forwarding emails with references to WikiLeaks and a Russian backdoor overture and dinner invite. Despite the fact that other parties had included such communications in their submissions, Kushner had not. Additional legal issues arose in December, when a Washington attorney filed a lawsuit alleging that Kushner's public financial disclosure filings contained improper omissions. According to the lawsuit, both Kushner and Ivanka failed to identify the assets held by a number of investment businesses that continued to do business with them, as well as the money generated by two investment vehicles. The lawsuit was dismissed as frivolous by a White House official, who said the two presidential advisors' disclosures met all legal standards. Security and intelligence issues. Counterintelligence officers had told Kushner, according to a January 2018 Wall Street Journal article, that Wendy Deng Murdoch, a Chinese-American entrepreneur and the former wife of News Corporation chairman Rupert Murdoch, might use her association with him to help Chinese government objectives. Murdoch later denied any involvement in such activities, as well as any knowledge of intelligence agency concerns. Due to the fact that he had not yet received final clearance, Kushner's interim status was dropped from top secret to secret in late February 2018, following Chief of Staff John Kelly's statement that he would restructure the security clearance process for White House officials. The Washington Post reported shortly after that U.S. officials had intercepted communications between members of at least 4 foreign governments, China, the United Arab Emirates, Mexico, and Israel, about how to exploit Kushner's business activities and lack of foreign policy experience. Some in the White House were concerned, according to the story, that Kushner was naive and being duped in his interactions with foreign officials. Despite the security concerns, Kushner was soon part of a delegation that met with Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto to discuss security, immigration, and trade issues. After Peña Nieto abruptly canceled his planned trip to Washington, the visit was scheduled. In May 2018, Kushner was granted top-secret security clearance, though the New York Times later reported that this was owing to President Trump's influence. Housing loans and documents. Kushner's former real estate firm, the Kushner KUS, was accused of filing fraudulent records with New York City in order to avoid rent control rules in March 2018. According to the Housing Rights Initiative, between 2013 and 2016, the Kushner KUS submitted at least 80 bogus construction permit applications in 34 buildings around the city, claiming that there were no rent-regulated tenants when there were more than 300. Additionally, after Kushner purchased the properties, some residents complained of construction occurring at all hours of the day and night, which they suspected was part of a plan to evict them and allow the company to raise rents for incoming tenants. The Kushner companies reacted by claiming that it outsources report preparation to third parties and takes prompt corrective action when errors are identified. Kushner would never deprive any tenant of their right to due process, the business said in a statement. The New York Times reported at that time that Citigroup had financed Kushner KUS and one of its partners $325 million in 2017 after Citigroup's CEO, Michael Corbat, met with Kushner at the White House. Following the discovery, Democratic senators demanded documents from Kushner KUS, prompting a White House investigation into whether the company's former CEO broke any laws or regulations with his activities. Coronavirus. When the coronavirus pandemic became a global threat in early 2020, President Trump appointed Vice President Pence to command the administration's task team, as well as his son-in-law to supervise important behind-the-scenes developments in the race to contain the epidemic. Kushner's influence over decision-making at the Food and Drug Administration and the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, according to reports, was initially focused on expanding public test access, beefing up industrial production of medical supplies, and determining where the supplies were most needed. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.